Hello everyone, this is Simon from writtenlegalenglish.com and welcome to this end of the week video where we're going to have a look at that horrible legal English text I asked you to have a look at on Tuesday. This one big blocky sentence full of information that I asked you to think about, redraft and make it customer friendly. I did not want you just to put in one or two full stops and think job done. That is not how we effectively redraft. We effectively redraft by thinking about the message, thinking about our audience, and as I said on Tuesday, this is for customers, this is for clients, not tucked away in the terms and conditions, this is on the website. So we need to talk to them, make the information available to them. And simply getting a legal text and chucking some full stops in there is not good enough. So if you have done that, we're going to have a look at that in a second, but if you haven't, pause the video now, think about it for a few seconds, if not minutes, and then come back and we'll have a look at my suggested breakdown. Okay, so behind me now you can see my first redraft of this legal English text. Why did I do it in this way? Well, when I read the original text, it became clear to me that this text is aimed at people who are traveling with either extra pieces of luggage or outsized pieces of luggage. And it gives you some examples in the original text: surfboards, fold-up bikes, tents, musical instruments, etc., etc. So this is a pretty important piece of information. This is a client should be aware that if they are traveling with something which is considered not typical, then they have to read this and then be able to react in a certain way. And in reacting in a certain way, there are a couple of possible reactions. Generally, it would be paying an extra charge. And in one case, it would be about actually contacting the bus company and saying to them, this is what I've got. Can I travel with this on this bus on this date and time? Which is kind of important. So bearing that in mind, I decided to redraft it in this way. Planning to travel with additional pieces of hold luggage or outsize items? And then I gave a description of what they were. This was a simple copy and paste. And I made that a question. So are you planning to travel with things like this? And then an answer, because if there's a question, there's got to be an answer. We'll be able to carry this if, okay, now we've got conditions, and those conditions have been set out in a tabulated form. So we'll be able to carry this or these if you pay the charge for each item. And then I've added some extra information here. This is always helpful if you actually tell the client where the extra information is. Don't just say to the client, if you read the conditions or if you pay the extra money. Tell them the conditions are here or the price list is here, and provide a clickable link so the client then doesn't have to spend another 15 minutes trying to find that information by themselves. And then secondly, we have the space to carry it. And then, importantly, please contact us before you travel. Now, this is a big thing. And it's so important, at least I think it is, that I repeat myself afterwards. Just remember to contact us before you travel. We don't want to disappoint you by refusing to carry your items at the bus stop. So here I'm making it clear what the consequences are. Not just that we won't be able to take your items, but what that would mean. And I'm trying to paint a picture here deliberately because this is an effective form of communication. The fact that you'll be left at the bus stop with all your equipment and you won't be able to get onto the bus. So I've presented the same information in a much more client-friendly way. Now, you might argue with me and say, it's important to say, we have no obligation. And it might be important to use some other language like at our entire discretion. And there could be a context where I might accept that. And of course, I've given you no context. But then I would also ask yourself, what are you really trying to communicate? And which direction are you trying to show this from? Because in the original text, it sounds a bit like a set of demands from the bus company. We will not do this if you don't do this. And that is a form of communication. It's just not a very persuasive form of communication, and it's a pretty aggressive form of communication. However, in my version, what I've done is I've turned the tables and I've said, listen, there are some rules. You need to do these things in order to travel. So I'm putting the focus onto the potential customer or the potential client, setting out clearly what the rules and conditions are, I hope. If you disagree with me, please leave a comment below. I'll be more than happy to engage with you guys if you think you can do this better than I can. And of course, there is no one correct answer to this. There are, of course, many different ways that you can redraft this. So I've changed the focus there in the language that I've chosen, and I've used much more friendly, accessible language to communicate those main points. Of course, there is an alternative. We can, of course, use a table. Now, I've done videos in the past about using tables to communicate information, and tables are fantastic for many different reasons. The main one is when you create the table, you have to go through the process of deciding what questions are important, what are my headers. Secondly, what information is important. And by deciding what that is, you get rid of a whole load of unnecessary information. So if you present it like this, what luggage can we accept on board? Then you've got items, and of course that list can go on. Then we've got a simple question, can we carry it? Yes, 1 item, yes. 2 items, yes. 3 items, yes, we can. And then what do you have to know, or what do you have to do? So the luggage is with you in the bus, or the luggage is in the hold, or the luggage is in the hold and you've paid the charge. Or with that last one, with sports equipment, it's in the hold, you've paid the charge, and you've contacted us before you travel. So using a table clearly sets out the information, very easy to see, very difficult for the customer to argue against. And it's very easy for you as a service provider to defend your position. Because if you go back to the original text and you say it's in the text, then I think a customer would have a fair argument to say, I didn't understand that. Where was that? Where is it written there? But if you present it in the form of a table, I'm going through my presentation here, then it's very easy to say, we've got this table, table 2, what luggage can we accept on board? It's in there, and you didn't do that, so we didn't accept the piece of luggage on board. So clear communication communicates things effectively to the client and the customer, and it protects the client and customer, and it protects you as well as in the form of a chart, communicating the information in the most efficient and clear way possible. Okay guys, I hope you could take something away from this video. If you can, please like this video and consider subscribing or joining me on any of my other social media channels, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or supporting me on Patreon. I'll see you again next week on Tuesday with another text for you to redraft. So until then, enjoy your weekends and I'll see you soon.